You guys ready?
What's the plan, Bobby?
We're winging it, Jerry.
You always winged it.
We're gonna get killed.
What you mean, we, white boy? You ready?
Here we go.
What's good, everybody? Welcome into the OG NBA betting show. Got my guy WAM with me. Got my Bano with me. And man, I ain't even mad at this, man. The way that last game, he might not want to talk about this one.
Think?
But yeah, that was, bro, like blatant, so blatant. Pacers winning. I mean, we'll talk about it. I'm going to go to Babano. Babano's good at doing the summary, going around. How you feeling today, Babano? What do you think about that game we saw?
Look, I've been very, very, very hesitant in all my years watching and betting the NBA to go down that rabbit hole, go down that pathway of the NBA is out and out rigged. It's set up, it's scripted, all that bullshit that we've talked about over the years. I'm like, come on, really? Scripted? Like they plan out what's going to happen before it actually happens? I mean, that's a little out there. I know there's some controversy sometimes with some of these foul calls and some of these end of game situations that maybe would lead one to believe that, but I've never really been willing to say, it's just blatantly rigged, or they're trying to screw someone over, or there's an end of game situation happens just so perfectly to benefit one side, especially against the closing point spread. And then I saw game 4 finish the way it did. And I got to admit, I find it very difficult to step to the people that think the NBA is rigged at times after what I saw. It's very, very difficult for me to come back at them and say you don't know what the hell you're talking about after what I saw in game 4. I mean, are you kidding me? It was, first of all, Scott Foster's show to the Supreme. He's calling every foul there on Indiana at the end. He tees up Carlisle, which was absolutely absurd. He didn't even really say anything or do anything demonstrative. You have a guy, and obviously he played great in game 3. He didn't play so good in game 4. Benedict Mathurin, my guy from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, fellow Canadian, who's an 86% free throw shooter that misses not 1, not 2, but 3 damn free throws in a row. 3 in a row for a guy that shoots over 80% from the free throw line. And he just happens to miss the number of points from the free throw line down the stretch that led to Oklahoma City, if you laid the 5.5, if you laid the 6, even if you laid the 6.5.
That was
cashing your ticket in the most fucking improbable fashion, unreal fashion you'll ever see. So all I can say to that is it's got the ending that, for the people that say the NBA is a rig job, that's the kind of ending that's going to benefit your case. That's the kind of ending that's going to support your case, man. That was very, very shady, to put it mildly.
And while I pass to Wham, I got a couple guys in the comments. One, Mark says they're making us cap the fix. And I always say, man, you got to find the fix, bro. Find the fix in some of these games. It's just how it is nowadays. And then the last one, he was over here where I'm at right now watching the game. He said shooting the ball from half court was way too obvious. Bro, the last shot, after that, I said, I seen enough, man. What's up with you?
Hey, man, I feel good, bro. Shout out to the people, man. Scott Foster for president did a great job, honestly.
The extender. What else? That's all you can say.
Looked like he was playing a normal game for y'all, huh? Looked like he was doing some normal shit. The SGA wasn't getting no calls in the first half again. It was all the normal shit that you normally see. But all of a sudden, SGA could do fouls. Now he can get fouls.
And I'll throw one out there, Wham. With about a minute left, he had a step-back jumper. He definitely threw his elbow out there. Blatant offensive foul, no call. Foster put the whistle away. And I love him, but come on, that's an offensive foul.
And he traveled right there. And he offensive foul first, and then he traveled. And he still make the shot. Love it. Me, obviously, I was on the right side of that. I told y'all this is going to win by 7. I said 7, exactly. Some wild-ass shit like that. And here go my boy Scott Foster holding it down the last stretch. But Benedict Mathurin, he was definitely with us. And when I say with us, he was with us. Yeah, Scott Foster, a demon for that motherfucking 12. Look, not even just that. It was fucking Benedict Mathurin ass fouling before the ball even gets in twice. Like, Nigga, this don't even happen in the playoffs, but he does it twice in the finals. I'm like, oh yeah, he point shaving. I know Paul Crew when I see Paul Crew. He pop his head out every once in a while. And that was some Paul Crew shit. So shout out to Benedict Mathurin. I think that he probably deserves all the fouls he could get today. Maybe you want to take Benedict Mathurin over points today because he did everything the NBA wanted him to do. And he's gonna get it all. He's gonna get it all in return now.
Yeah, you gotta watch the players. We know that with John Tate Porter, etc. You gotta watch the coaches. Before the game, Rick Carlisle was talking about, yeah, we know we've been 10-point underdogs in all the games. Like he talking about the point spread. They know. Everybody knows what the point spread is.
And I don't buy Carlisle. And I don't buy Carlisle for 1 second defending and rushing to the defense of Scott Foster earlier today, saying he does a great job. He's a fine official. That's a bunch of nonsense, Rick. You're not fooling me.
You know,
he just doesn't want to get fined.
I call that Rick knew what the deal was already. Yeah. And 2, he's playing chess. He's like, maybe we'll get these calls next game if I just be a little nice.
And he doesn't want to get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined. Of that. Yeah.
But no Scott Foster tonight.
No.
So we'll see. Series tied. They don't need the extender. We got an even game. Thunder -9.5 total. It was 223.5, but it's up to 225 now. I mean, a couple things I got to mention in that last game, bro. Like the Pacers, I feel like the Pacers kind of just stopped playing almost. Like they had 1 assist in the fourth quarter. They scored 17 points, I believe. Like that didn't look like the Pacers at all that we've been watching all playoffs and for the season. And then Babano, the Thunder, I'll say this. Yes, we know they got gifted a lot of free throws, but still, I mean, they shot 19%, I believe, from 3. Only made 3 3-pointers. They were able to score 111, get the W. I mean, I'd have to think they can shoot better at home here tonight, and I'd have to think the Pacers play a little bit more to their identity. The total has gone up. I'm asking you, Babano, do you think it's moving in the right direction?
Well, we've seen in this series so far, it's been an interesting series as far as the total goes because we've actually seen 3 unders in this series, yet 2 of the unders were 221 as far as total points scored in game 1 when Indiana made that big comeback and stole it. And then 223 in the game 3 under, which, we're getting close to where this total is right here, which is right at 224.5, 225. And you said it about game 4, the pace really slowed down too. Like there was a brisk pace in the first quarter, especially first half. And then it seemed like it just slowed down. I'm almost at the point now with what I've seen. I like the hearts there floating behind WAM there with Skee there. And his girlfriend there in the back. That's another story. Look, first half over, I'd be more interested in that as far as that's concerned. The first half over, because I think we've seen them on a couple of instances now in this series where it slowed right down. I mean, you think too of the 116-107 game that we saw in this series in game 3, where it stayed under in the first half and it flew over the total, or stayed under for the full game and it flew over the total in the first half. So I'm kind of thinking that I don't know if I love full game over, but first half over, I think definitely is something to consider. If you like the over, I think this is one of those games where I feel I need to, at the very least, divvy it up and split it up, first half and full game, because we've had a couple instances where the first half's gone over the total and the full game has stayed under. It happened in game 3 and it happened in game 4. So first half over, I'm interested in for sure. And you can get that right now at 109.5. Because we have seen pretty good pace in the first 24 minutes, of the last 2 games. From a side perspective, I mean, it's Oklahoma City against Denver. The series there in that second round, it really is playing out the way this series has played out. They blew game 1 against Denver. They destroyed Denver in game 2. That's what happened here against Indiana. They lost game 3 at Denver. And then they bounced back and they won on the road, came back and won on the road at Denver. But what ended up happening in game 5 of that second round series against Denver was they were a 10.5 point favorite after tying up the series 2-2, series going back home to OKC. And the final score of that game was 112-105 for OKC, but it was a very tight game throughout. And in fact, OKC needed a 34-19 fourth quarter to win that game. Think about that. Game 5 in the second round hosting Denver, because they were down by 8 points going into actually 10 points. They were down by 10 going into that fourth quarter of Game 5 against Denver. And they came back and won, but they didn't cover. And I continue to think that, aside from a bad fourth quarter, Indiana's going to feel like, hey, we're right there with this team. We're right there with this team. It could have gone a different route if we had a better close to that game. And you got to tip your cap to Skee. He finally had an MVP moment in the crunch, in the closeout, and down the stretch of a close game in the playoffs. He was sensational in the last 4 or 5 minutes. What did he get? 15 of the last 16 Thunder points in that game to close out Game 4. So sometimes you just got to tip your cap. The MVP doing MVP things late in that game. But you take that sequence out of that game, and Indiana's leading and has a chance to win it. So I have a hard time laying 9.5 points. I really do with Oklahoma City. Now, there's always that potential.
I'll tell you right now, real quick, Fabano. Literally, all I gotta do is look over right there and see the odds screen. Since you've been talking, the total dropped 0.5 point down to 224.5, and the spread went from 9.5 down to 9.
Yeah, I like first half over more than full game. I don't know about the full game because these games have been bogging down. They've been slowing down. Defenses have tightened up now in back-to-back games in this series in the second half. That's why if I like an over, and I'll probably just play more, at least if I'm going to take full game over, I'm putting more so on the first half over. But I think from a side perspective, I kind of like, again, I don't want to go that route with Thunder early, Pacers late, because I kind of went that route in Game 4 and paid the price for it. It was pretty much the opposite. It was Pacers early, and then the Thunder came back late. So I might not go the first half full game route. I might just take Indiana full game plus 9.5. I'll take that. This is a gutsy team with a really good coach, very resilient. I don't think they're going to get totally distraught and down on themselves because they, just let that game slip away from them in Game 4. So I got to lean Indiana with I haven't bet it yet, but at this number, it's the only way I'm going to go here, Indiana. And I hearken back to Game 5 of Denver, where the Denver series for OKC and this series, it's been the exact similar pattern, where OKC blew Game 1 at home to Denver and lost, blew out Denver in Game 2 at home. Exactly what we saw first 2 games of this series against Indiana. Lost Game 3 at Denver. They lost Game 3 at Indiana. And then they bounced back with close losses and close wins, I should say, comeback wins in Game 4 on the road at Denver, and then the other night at Indiana. Game 5 at home against Denver was not a blowout spot for OKC. They were down by 10 going into the fourth quarter, and they needed a 34-15 fourth quarter, 34-19 fourth quarter to win that game, but not cover because they were laying 10.5. They only won that Game 5 against Denver at home by 7. I feel it could be the same here. 7-point win for OKC is not going to get you a cover here tonight. So at 9.5, it's Indiana for me.
And man, I like the comments. Yeah, I would like the over. Wham bam. What's good with you, man? We get Babano with a little side action, little first half total action, maybe. How you viewing this game?
I like a lot what I heard from Babano. What a great start of this Game 5. I think the Game 5 winner is going to be the Game 6 loser. And I think the number here that we're getting, you're saying it's coming down to 9 as well. I think it is a big number here for OKC. But one thing that Babano, I think he said off screen is that you don't know if this team is going to be serious here in OKC and they blow you out by 30, or they're going to let this team in Indiana play up. And that defense for Indiana in that first half of last game was fucking phenomenal. They did really good on the defense. Obviously, you could just point at the calls. You could point at the mistakes Benedict Mathurin did down the stretch and, highlight a lot of that stuff. But a lot of things had to go right for OKC for sure. And a lot of that was Shea getting those 15 points, like you said, in the fourth quarter. But their defense did start to come around as well. 17-31 in the fourth quarter. That's really what won them the game. And I think the long song hero is the guy that only went over fucking 19 points one time in the regular season. The fucking Alex Caruso getting 20 points, outscoring Tyrese Halliburton. That shit is crazy as hell. On where, guys like him play better at home. So him, Jalen Williams, it was fucking phenomenal. That was a good, easy catcher right there. Shout out to him. Going back to the well with Jalen Williams, I think he's only going to be doing well from there. From here on out, I think that he's solidified himself. He had 27. Caruso had 20. Even Holmgren, Chet Holmgren, as much as I was really talking shit about him during the game, he really changed the level of defense in that fourth quarter. So I think he has to be one of those closeout guys there for him as well. I think OKC is going to continue to trend like this finals have been. In the first half, the home team has won and has covered every first half. It's a 4-0 ATS so far, and you can go all the way back to the last series. If we get some action right now, I'm definitely gonna stop with my breakdown. I'm definitely gonna stop my breakdown to throw these hearts up. I'm gonna just let y'all know how you doing, Luke. There you go. How you doing? There you go, Queen. All right, so look there. But to lock all that back in though, it's got to be the first half for me. OKC in the first half, it's been good money all season. Just like our guy LJ said, there's no reason for it to not be good in this finals. It's already won twice in OKC. We should win the third one as well. So give me the -6 OKC in the first half. And as far as Brett's props, obviously we got another minute before we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here for a little bit. But as far as props, going back to the well with Jalen Williams, points over. And then I do think that there is going to be a better shooting from three from both teams in this game. And I think if you got to go on the other side to look at threes, I think Andrew Nembhard last game he shot most of his shots from three. He's 2 for 4 from three. I think he gets those looks again. I think he's going to have to be aggressive. He has to shoot those threes. So I do like Andrew Nembhard over his threes as well. So those are the props that I like. But mostly first half Thunder. That's my best bet right there. That's my favorite bet.
All right, good shit.
Let me remind people, too, one last time, and this swayed me to Indiana, too. 5-0 ATS and straight up. That's straight up, by the way. And a lot of these have been as underdogs for Rick Carlisle and Indiana off a loss in these playoffs. 5-0, straight up and against the spread off a loss for the Pacers here in the postseason. Don't lose sight of that, how good they have been in this spot before off a loss. And like I say, for me, it's just difficult to lay this many against this team. There's no quitting them, and maybe Oklahoma City will flex their muscles and they'll show superiority and blow them out. But I'll see it before. I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, we're gonna find out tonight what they about. I ain't gonna lie, it's about good time to get this show the best bet section.
I think it's a Siakam night for me too. I think he plays better. He was at one of his worst. He plays better.
The best bet segment. Y'all just want to let the people know. If y'all want to see more of these lovely ladies on screen, y'all have to donate to the chat. Y'all got to donate to the chat.
They don't work for free, man. Come on.
This ain't for free. I'm just trying to let y'all know. Donate to the chat if y'all really.
Even they work for free, but they don't.
Oh, man. All right. We're going to move it over now. Move it over. Oh. Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. Best bet. I'm gonna go to Wham Bam first. Like we always do. Let the people know how to get paid, Wham Bam.
Like I said, man, we on game 5.
Y'all gonna give my best bet out? It's gonna be over.
Yeah, we need the best bet from them. We need the best bet from them. Yeah, look, y'all donate. Y'all donate. Y'all heard me, right, guys? Look, as far as the best bet today, it's got to be the first half. Like I said, it's 4-0 so far. It's going to go end up 5-0. One of the best first half
bet is over 223.5.
-6. OKC.
You want to speak? You want me to?
Look at my boy. Look, he trying to coordinate. I ain't mad at him. Let him cook. Let Skee cook, y'all. OKC -6. Look, now you
I can hear y'all.
Okay.
Yes,
Skee's best bet for today is over 223.5.
You get paid.
And we gonna get this money.
Oh,
Appreciate y'all.
love it. You know, I'll tell you what, those ladies, they introduce your best bet better than you do, Skee. You better watch out here. You'll lose your spot here hosting this thing. But shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Best bet for me, Indiana Pacers plus 9.5. I'm not convinced the Thunder win this by this kind of a margin. Pacers are kings of adjustments. Pacers were right there in the fourth. They played a great 3 quarters the other night. And then fourth quarter, it slipped away. Oklahoma City turned it up on D. SGA at his MVP moment with a brilliant close to that game in the last few minutes. And Indiana kind of let it slip away. But, you know, to lay 9.5, for me, it's difficult, especially with the Pacers. 5-0 straight up, 5-0 against the spread. Here in the playoffs, off a loss. That's a very difficult track record for me to go against. I'm taking the points here. Indiana Pacers plus 9.5 for my best bet here for Game 5. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. Appreciate you joining us here on the NBA OG Crew Betting Show, because the NBA is a hell of a drug, and you're looking at the plugs. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the motherfucking video. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah, man.
You guys ready? It's the plan, Bobby.
We're winging it, Jerry.
You always winged it.
We're gonna get killed. What you mean, we, white boy?
You ready?